Boy, you know what time it is.
Welcome to the Bromigos podcast.
I need it!
Hey, how are you?
This is amazing.
That's right, we back. Another episode of the Bromigos podcast. I'm back here with the bros. You know, you already know it's your boy, Daint Money.
It's Hoochie, holding it down as always.
Mm-hmm.
Always holding it down. And it's your boy, the Undercover Brotha. Pump your fists if you feel me and holler if you hear me. We have not recorded an episode in quite some time, and so much shit has happened, guys. So much shit has happened. Let's talk about the personal life stuff. Everybody okay? Everybody doing good? Dante, you've been out a little while handling your thing. What have you been up to?
Just life. I was supposed to go to Bermuda today. Fucking got canceled because of a hurricane. So that's ass.
Yo, that sucks. What?
I'm not too happy about that. I was looking forward to it all summer, and it's been a shitty summer for me. Basketball wise. Getting fired, and then trying to find your way as a coach and everything. It's a difficult market out here, man. But I'm striving to surviving. I've been doing some basketball camps. I told y'all. These kids are interested these days. So I'll tell you this story, right? So we're at lunch and we're leaving lunch. And before we leave lunch, we get all the kids in line or whatever, to get them back over to the gym. And we getting the kids in line. This one little kid, he's in line, standing up front. And I'm like, all right, guys, you about to go. Swear to God, out of nowhere, this little kid puts both hands on his knees and starts throwing ass on the kid behind him. And I was like, yo, what are you doing? I couldn't. I saw that. I walked out. I left. I walked out.
Kids are sexually assaulting each other now? What the fuck? Hey, yo, what?
Yo, so it gets worse, right? So I go back to the gym and I talk to him probably about like an hour later. So they playing games or whatever. He's with the younger group. So I go over to the younger group and I see him sitting out. I'm like, yo, man, come here. Yo, what you did at lunch? Don't do that again. You know what I'm talking about? He's like, mm-hmm. Like, don't ever do that again. It's like, girls only do that to guys when you are older. Do you understand me? Mm-hmm. We cool? You got it? I don't ever want to see you doing that again at camp. Don't ever do that again. I said, men don't do that. Men don't do that. So
I have one question.
Hold on a second. So the game is going on, right? Now there are two girls at camp. Tell me why this little motherfucker went. So she could do it? No, no.
Why?
Oh my God.
I said
this generation's cooked.
You get older. When you get older, do you understand me? Okay. Points to the older group. Wait, so she could do it? No. Oh my God. No more twerking. Do you understand? Okay. And then he just sat down. And
this is the future of America, ladies.
My whole mind is like, yo, this little nigga did this like off instinct. That means he's learned this. He's seen it. He's seen it. This is why we got to keep our kids off TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. Because I mean, like literally at lunch, that's all they be doing. They sit at lunch. They don't interact with each other. They're on TikTok the whole time. And then when you sit on TikTok at lunch, bro, we chilling there, and like the girls from the other camps are walking through, right? These little fucking 8 and 9-year-olds, smash, pass,
Bro.
Smash.
What?
Nah.
Hey, yo.
We got to put a stop to this. I've been saying this for years that TikTok is just such an abomination that we should have got rid of it a long time ago. But
well, it's gonna happen within the next year, probably. But
I would hope so.
It's ridiculous. You got these.
I like pissing people off on TikTok when we post clips. It's the funniest thing to me.
Yeah,
it's so bad. Like I saw this one TikTok where it's like post how old you were when COVID began versus now. This kid literally did when COVID started 3. This year 8. What? Why are you on TikTok? Get off.
That's a parenting thing, though.
That's a parent.
That's a parenting thing. Yes. Mike, I hope Mike listens to this episode.
I blame all
He's
the
not here with us today.
All these 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds running around with iPads, and
I blame-
they're 6 years old with iPhones.
Yeah, no, I blame all these parents, and I blame them because of this, and I noticed this being at basketball camp. I know most of the kids that went to camp in the first place, they couldn't hoop. They weren't very good basketball players. You could tell these were kids that had parents that just wanted them to get the fuck out of their face. That's what it was. And usually that's what these basketball camps are during the summer.
That's what all summer camps
yeah,
are like. Like I went to one for a couple of weeks when I was like in elementary school, and I mean, my mom, I guess, just wanted us to go out and do stuff, but like she didn't want us out of her hair per se. But a lot of parents definitely do it to get the kids out of their hair. I would know because my brother and sister, like, remember when my brother was on the show very early on, and he was doing camp stuff, and he himself got assaulted by a kid.
Remember that? Yeah, it's just crazy shit, man. And like I know some of these parents don't be fucking with their kids. You know how I know? When you just drop your kid off, and when they open the door, your car is still moving. I know you don't fuck with your kid. If you dropping your kid off with the car still in motion, you're like, get the fuck out, little nigga. Get the fuck out. Just go on. Take that Mercedes. Zip it. I mean, these damn kids, man, they're different. I had a kid walk by me. Hey, coach, what's a Diddy party? I was like, all right, just get out of my face,
bro.
Get out of my
What?
face.
What?
A Diddy party? Yes.
Listen, man. I don't know if are these kids finding the fucking podcast somewhere. I guarantee that somebody's finding the podcast. That's wild.
No, it's just these kids, man. They see all this stuff on the internet, and they're like, and they just spew it out because that's all the information they get. They ain't getting no real information in school. Let's be honest. How many kids really in school learning? They spend more time on their phone looking at TikTok and shit.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the kids that should be, like say 8th grade kids or whatever, I'm pretty sure they're reading at a 5th grade level right now. That's how bad the education system has gotten. So anyway, that's Dante telling us what's been up with him. Hunter, what about you?
It's just same old. Although I did switch from FanDuel to Caesar Sportsbook, and I won a bunch of money. But the issue I'm having now is that I can't get the money out. So with FanDuel, yeah. So here's the thing: with FanDuel, I could do like a physical check. They could send in the mail, and I'll get it a week later. I don't have that with Caesars. I only have the option to put money on my card, which that doesn't work because my local bank just blocks it immediately, and then bank transfer, which that doesn't even work as well. So now I'm kind of stuck because I got all this money that I won, and I'm not gonna gamble at all.
Let me talk to my brother and ask him some questions because I'm not going to out him very much right now, but he may or may not work in that department.
Oh, okay. All right, because
we'll see what happens.
Like I said, I'm trying to get this money out, and with it just sitting there, I have
to ask, and you don't have to answer, but how much is sitting in there?
Well, I got
pocket watching. That's crazy. Watching on the show is wild.
I'm just curious because if Hunter, we know Hunter does good bets.
I got $550 in it.
Wow, they won't let you take that out.
Well, it doesn't give me an option. Like I go to withdraw, and it just gives me this. It gives me debit card that doesn't work. Online banking.
Why are you putting your information like that?
No, that's not my information. It's just the standard withdrawal screen. So debit card, my local bank blocks that. Online banking, I have a local bank, so they're not up there. Bank transfer, that doesn't work. And then this Caesar Sportsbook, the last one, I don't fucking know.
I mean, honestly, just say, well, I would say just fuck it and go to AC and get your money. Man, at that point, listen, if $500, $500, you could put $50 in the tank
because they want you to keep fucking spending the money. Yeah. That's why I barely bet because I feel so tempted when I have like $20 in my betting account. I'm just like, oh, that's got $10 is going to go to some really bad bet that I want to hit. It's not going to hit at the last.
Because I know Tave bets all the time, and one time we actually had to go up to FanDuel Sportsbook so he can go get his bread. He's like, I can't transfer this to my bank. That's the annoying thing. Like, especially you have like TD or whatever. TD will fuck you over on them damn transfers, bro. It's the annoying thing. That's what I hate about online banking in general. Because like, say you get like $1,000 check, you put the check into your account or you put it into the ATM. They only give you the first 100. And then you got to wait like a day or two to get the rest of your money.
My bank doesn't even do that. It has zero for like 2 days until it only processes.
I hate that shit. Like when I got paid from this past basketball season, it took like 3-4 days for that bread to go. They were like, "Oh, is this like a fraudulent check?" No, I literally gave it to the teller. Like, I signed it in front of her. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. Like, don't do me like that. I'm not stealing. I think I just randomly came around a $3,000 check. No, bitch.
You know what?
Do you
If
sell
you were,
drugs?
let me tell you. If you were white, there wouldn't be a problem.
No.
That's the thing. That's the thing. As fucked up as it is to say.
Glad you know. Glad you know. I'm glad you know, man.
They see his shade other than white. Sir, are you legal?
Put your fucking fist down. Put your fucking right, you
I need security over here ASAP.
bastard. Goddamn bastard.
Anyway,
Yeah, listen. The biggest sporting event in history.
damn, we're just gonna pass me over.
Yeah, we're gonna pass. Now I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking. I mean,
No, because I got some.
Come on, guys. We all know Matt ain't got nothing going on in his life.
No, I actually do. Well, I mean, I've been talked about it a little bit. Like, I'm moving next week, so the show might be on hiatus for a couple of weeks there while I settle all that. But man, I saw some shit like a week or two ago that might happen in my town, and of course, when I'm about to leave, no, not a dead body. There were some White Lives Matter protests on a corner at Route 130. There was like, so let me set the scene. I didn't know. I heard about this secondhand. I didn't see this personally, but they would on Facebook, because there's always like those town Facebook groups and stuff.
Yep.
Someone in my town posted a photo of a bunch of white dudes with like flags that said like White Lives Matter and shit, and of course their face is fucking covered, so you don't know who the fuck they are.
Of course.
And I'm sitting here like, of course, when I gotta fucking leave in a couple of weeks, they pull some shit like this. That doesn't shock me.
Well, just think about where you're moving to, Matt. It's probably going to be more.
Oh, it's going to be even worse.
It's going to be way worse.
It's going to be even worse. First of all, there's barely any white people in Robbinsville anyway, because most of them are Indian now moving in. So it's like, there's that temple that opened up like a mile or two down the road from me. So, but it's weird because like when that popped up, I was like, oh shit, here we go. It's the Trump supporters out there again. But you know what? I will say kudos to Robbinsville PD and like the town municipality or the town government. They put up a sign in that exact same spot where those protesters were, and it said, there was a sign. I wish I could post it here. It said, "Hate has no place here." I pass it like every day because I take that particular road to go home. It's like right off of 130 by the Taco Bell in Robbinsville. And I got to say, that was a classy move by Robbinsville to pull some shit like that off. But I just wanted to laugh at that really quick because, of course, these motherfuckers were had their faces all covered up. Like I've seen I saw the photos on the Facebook group. I was like, come on, man, if you're gonna fucking start preaching some bullshit, at least have the balls to show your face about it.
I mean, think about it, man. Most white racists love to hide their racism. I mean, they love to hide racism. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think Blue Lives Matter is racist in itself. I think White Lives Matter is racist in itself. And I'm not even going to harp on this really long. I'll say this. White Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter is reactionary. It's reactionary. The only reason why it came about was because of Black Lives Matter, and people were ignorant of why that was a thing. And they reacted to it by saying, okay, no, but white lives matter. No, Blue lives matter too. Like, police lives matter. No one's saying they don't. No one's saying white lives don't matter. But why were we saying black lives don't? Why were you saying black lives matter? It was a precautionary tale to let y'all know. And like, yo, we do matter. Y'all out here killing us for sport, but we do matter as people. Like, we're not just dogs you kill in the street. We're not just people you just hose down the sidewalk and keep it pushing. It's a lot. It's a lot more than that. And if you think that saying white lives matter is somehow a protest to a protest, we're not. And then you can't do that and then go out and say, no, we're the United States. Everybody has to be American, all the kind of stuff. Most of these people that saying, no, we got to be American, like everything's got to be American, patriotism. Let's be honest. Genocide is very American. Slavery is very American. Hating on other people, racism, that's very patriotic in this country. And people love to hide that. And that's what I always find very funny. They're always talking about patriotism and, Americanism and all that kind of stuff. But all of that racism, all of that bigotry, it's all hidden within those phrases. Like we gotta be honest here. Racism is deeply, deeply, deeply rooted in patriotism, right? Being a true American, being part of the American dream, all that kind of stuff. So I'd never fuck with White Lives Matter. And I've
Just
never,
saying.
Blue Lives,
Whoa.
but Blue Lives Matter to me is actually insane. It's like you're completely changing the agenda as if all black people hate the cops. Are there some that do? Yes. And are they justified? Yeah, honestly, you know.
I think
Am
it
I
depends on the area you're from. Yeah.
exactly that too? You know, people think that just because I'm from this area that I don't have any fear of the police. Are you fucking kidding me? Every
You've told stories.
I've told many stories of things that have happened literally 2-3 minutes away from my house. You know, the shit is scary. So when I do see a police officer, I do get nervous. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. And yes, I know there are other people driving on the road, but when I'm driving and I see a cop, it's just me. It's just me. And white people don't have that feeling, you know. But hey, it is what it is. I ain't gonna get too crazy about that.
And like I said, I feel like, because like I said, Robbinsville has become more predominantly Indian over the course of the last couple of years since that temple got built, which is like the largest temple in North America, to my knowledge. I've seen it. It's pretty fucking massive, and it's beautiful. It's probably one of the greatest
Temples
pieces.
are beautiful. Temples are very, very beautiful.
Probably one of the most impressive pieces of architecture I have seen in a very long time. But with that being said, I can't help but feel like this is a kind of reactionary response to that.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is. I mean, they felt like they wanted to include themselves into it. Like, oh, you want to have your own thing? All right, we're gonna have our own thing. We're gonna not just one thing. We're gonna have 2, 3, 4, 5, as many things as possible.
And you know, since we're on this whole topic, and I didn't say I said I didn't want to talk about politics, but I think we have to because I haven't been on the show in a minute. But this is something very specific. And I told you I was listening to Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks on their podcast. This is about a month or so ago. And they were talking about the presidency, right? And, you know, obviously one of the big things over the past couple of elections has been, are we going to have a female president? This year is probably the most possible chance we have to actually have a female president. And of course, you know, everybody's going to get into the politics, right? What they talked about in the podcast, which I thought was a very interesting point, but very important that a lot of people don't talk about, is that when people mention having a female president, one of the things people say a lot, especially here, is that we're not ready for a female president. You know, we don't know what she's going to do. If we're ever in like the state of emergency, how are they going to handle it? Because, you know, we're thinking about the female temperament. That's understandable. But what they were talking about is how come whether black or white, how come a woman isn't given a chance to fuck up? You've had all these men, 40 plus men, 40 plus white men, 40 plus old white men, 40 plus old white men who have fucked up this country time and time and time and time again. I can really only think about 4 presidents on one hand that really made significant change during their presidency and did something good.
Such as?
Really did something good. Give an example. FDR. FDR got us out of the worst financial deficit in the history of our country. He did.
Possibly the world.
Yeah, the world too. You know, the practices that he instilled during the 1930s, during the Depression, at the end of the Depression, and then during the 1940s are still used today. Yes, Social Security, you know, isn't as present as it used to be back then just because of how the economy is, but we still use those practices that he was able to develop during his 4 terms in presidency, something we will never, ever see again. 4 terms as president. But what did he do during those 12 years as president? He was around during one of the biggest wars in the history of our country. He got us out of the biggest financial deficit in the entire world, as you said beforehand. Those are very important things that he did. But when it comes to a woman, it's like, oh, we don't know what she's going to do. We don't know about her temperament. We don't know about that. We don't know about anyone's true temperament until they actually have their seat as president of the United States. So why isn't Kamala Harris allowed to make mistakes? Because the crazy thing is that we're harping on Kamala Harris for all these other things that she's done, while she was working in the California State Senate and, how she sucked her way to the top and everything. And I understand that. But why can't she make a mistake? Why can't she be given an opportunity to do good? Because we're harping on all these things that she's done in the past. And yes, we have to look at that kind of stuff. But shouldn't a woman be given an opportunity? Why not? Why not? We keep electing these men who continue to make the same mistakes. I mean, history does repeat itself. So why not change history? Why not change it? Give them a chance. Women deserve a chance. We got all these dumbass dudes becoming presidents and fucking up the country. What's the difference between having a woman? And that's it, because she's a woman. And men are afraid of having a woman be the lead of a country that's so hyper masculine and so filled with testosterone that they can't put their feelings aside and be like, all right, you know what? Let's give her a chance. Let's have a moment of clarity here. We've had a couple of presidents in the past that really haven't been doing what we wanted them to do. Let's see what she could do.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
If you finish anyway.
I'm done. Go ahead. Ask me a question.
Would you vote for her just purely based off of that?
Yes, I would. Because I've already seen what Donald Trump has done. I've seen what he can do. Did some good things, did some bad things. And I said this way back in 2016, when we were still in high school and, finding out about all this stuff. Man, I don't know if you were still in high school back then.
No, I was in college.
Okay, yeah. So back then, right, I had said, I know if Donald Trump gets voted president, the economy will be pretty good. He's a businessman. And he has business interests in a bunch of different countries, so he'll be able to pull off certain deals that, a politician could not. But being a politician isn't just about the economy. Being a politician is also about how you represent yourself. And within that, how you represent yourself is how you represent the country. So if someone like Donald Trump, who goes around spewing misinformation, the things that people look at as patriotism, going into the military, skipping the Vietnam War because of wars, right? But then you want to shit on Tim Walz for dipping out of the military after 24 years of service. That doesn't make any sense to me. Then you have a president who continuously goes on television and spews not only misinformation, but hate speech about other countries, about other people, about other politicians, and about other people that are important in helping our country get to where it needs to be. I'm extremely tired of the bickering back and forth between Kamala and Donald Trump, because at this point, like I've said this a couple years ago, politics around election time has turned into a dick swinging contest. Who could talk the most shit? Who could talk them? Who can find the most dirt on the other person, so that way we don't have to vote for him? I think there's enough dirt on Donald Trump. The motherfucker is a convicted felon, and he's still allowed to run for president. He's still allowed to do everything that any other convicted felon nigger could not do if they were in the same position. Is anything I've said in the past 5 minutes been wrong? We gotta be honest about what the hell is going on, because I don't think people are being honest about the situation. I think everybody wants to develop their own opinions instead of looking at the facts. Like, this is what it is. Give this woman a chance, but also look at Donald Trump for who he is as a person. Stop trying to make him something he's not to be. He's a convicted.
I'll let you cover this part, because I got something to say, but I want you to go first off of that.
Well, I was going to say, I saw this the other day on Twitter, which, by the way, is a shit show in itself. But there was a clip of a few women with MAGA hats on, and they were preaching about how Donald Trump cares about women, and that's why they're voting for him. Which that couldn't be any more wrong.
The same dude that started grabbing by the pussy. Okay.
The same dude whose Supreme Court took away Roe v. Wade?
Yeah, that too. Mm-hmm. And I understand that it's, they leave it up to the states. Well, it shouldn't have to be that way. Where I think this happened in Texas a couple weeks ago, where a perfectly fine and healthy baby was left abandoned in a dumpster because Texas doesn't allow abortions.
He's just a prom night dumpster baby.
But yeah, over the last month or so, it went from Trump's winning it to Trump's got some competition because of the whole assassination thing. Biden drops out, Kamala's in, Tim Walz is in now, and then just Twitter in itself with Elon Musk running it, it's just become a dumpster fire where
Yes.
all this far right shit is just perfectly allowed, perfectly fine.
It's funny because before he had taken over, it was mostly far left from my perspective of things.
Yeah.
From my recollection, anyway, and my perceived view of it.
Yeah, but I mean, the far right, they're just so wrong. They're about everything. Like, you can make a fake image of a Trump rally, and they'd say that it's real. They made fake images of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance as like these big buff bodybuilders, like, oh, this is who I'm voting for, and then they make Photoshop images of Kamala in like.
They're probably gooning to those fucking photos because they'll just.
Well, they made fake images of Kamala in like a fucking nighttime outfit or like a bikini or whatever. There's just
that shit's just bizarre. AI has gone too far with that shit.
My question really is, out of all of this, is what's more important, the people or your personal issues between the both of y'all? We know y'all don't mess with each other. It's very obvious, but I really do miss the days of like Mitt Romney and Obama, or Obama and John McCain.
I was just about to reference that too. Yeah.
There was a respect factor. You know, the craziest thing is there was a respect factor on both sides. One, because John McCain is a decorated veteran. He's a decorated veteran. He fought for our country, right? Why isn't Tim Walz getting that same respect? Someone who spent 24 years of his life serving the very country that most people that support the military, right? Most people that support the military would be in support of. But because he's on the other side, they're finding every which way in order to, take him down as a human being. And I can't agree with that.
Keep in mind, this is probably mostly Trump people doing that, because if you remember, towards the end of John McCain's life, no less, people in the Republican side of things were shitting on McCain because he wasn't a Trump guy. I think even Trump himself said some disparaging things about him too, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be misinterpreting it. But so I'm just like, I guarantee you, it's probably not even like overall Republicans. It's like the Trump supporter Republicans that are like that. And I'll be honest, like, I'm hearing everything you're saying, Dante. I'm hearing everything Hunter's saying. I actually went on a podcast recently talking about, the political landscape going into this next election. And I'll be honest, I cannot in good faith vote for either side at this point. I just can't. I don't want to.
Sure.
I'd rather would vote a third party if the third party supported any of my
Kennedy, baby, Kennedy. Woo!
No. That's the thing. He's the only other named one. So like, you'd have to like actually go out of your way and search. And then of course I say this to my parents, it's like, are you going to waste a vote? You're not going to vote for Trump? And I'm just like, I don't want to vote for Trump again.
Not voting for Trump is a waste of vote, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not even just their point of view. It's just everyone's point of view. Or not a vote for
Trump,
Kamala.
you're not white. If you
also, wait.
You're not white.
I don't even think we've talked about this yet, but the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, where he said that he was going to write in for Rand Paul, and then 12 hours later changed his mind, said he was going to vote for Trump. Do you know why he did that? Because he got shit on by the whole MAGA community, where in 12 hours they came up with two conspiracies where Kyle Rittenhouse was transgender and that he was a paid actor in the Sandy Hook shooting. Yep.
So like, he got bullied, basically, is what you're saying.
When he was 12?
If that?
No, Kyle Rittenhouse was like, what was he like? Well, I don't know where he was from, but.
Because what, Sandy Hook was 2011?
2012.
2012, I think.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse is what? How old is Kyle Rittenhouse?
First of all, I hate the fucking people using Sandy Hook and shit for things like that, because my cousins were in that fucking school when it happened. That pisses me off.
Man,
they're okay, thank Christ, but they're fucked up, clearly.
To this day, Sandy Hook is the craziest shit that I had. Between that and the Colorado movie theater shootout, that was just insane to me. Like,
Let's not
kid,
forget
like
the Parkland one too. The Parkland, Florida
Parkland
one was also pretty fucked up.
that was and the one in Texas last year.
Oh,
It's
2
insane.
years ago, I think actually.
Does it really fucking matter? The
Yeah,
fact that
I've lost track at this point. I'm not
you know
gonna
what?
lie.
Listen, we're talking
Yeah.
about all this patriotism. Let's talk about real patriotism. The only time I show true patriotism, the Olympics, baby. USA, USA,
USA, USA, USA,
America,
USA.
America. Guns, drugs.
I feel like I'm Papa Nichols from Drake and Josh.
Woo!
America, fuck yeah.
Start this one off. I know we're gonna talk about basketball, right? Probably like one of the biggest things everyone's talking about during the Olympics. I've said it, and I ain't gonna hold back. I got nothing wrong with it. I thought this was one of the worst Olympic teams that we've ever put out there. And everyone's talking about the talent. The talent was there.
Talent is old.
The talent was there. And the talent was old. But I don't say that this team was bad because of the talent that they put out there. It was because they weren't a team. They really didn't come together for real, until they played Serbia in the semifinals when shit got real. And I knew they'd pull it out because we had the best players in the world. And besides Jokic and Bogdan Bogdanovic, they don't really have anything else on Serbia, but they're a very, very good basketball team, obviously. And
they gave us a run for our money for sure.
Yes, and I don't know if I said this in the group chat or whatever, but I said the one team that I thought could actually beat us is Serbia, because straight up, there's not a single player in the entire universe that can guard Nikola Jokic. I mean, if you look at what he did over the entire Olympics, led the Olympics in scoring, rebounds, and assists. I don't know if he did in steals as well, but I know he led the team, his own team, in steals. I thought he should have been Olympic MVP, because if you look at what he did over the entire course of the Olympics, he played amazing. Brown did a great job too. But when I talk about Team USA, Team USA is no longer a team. There's no longer a successful organization that builds through the years. It's once it's time for the Olympics or once it's time for FIBA, we get a squad together in the beginning of the summer, we go play, we win, and then that's it. I just don't think we can work like that anymore, because especially after watching the Redeem Team documentary, and you saw all the trials and tribulations that they went through between 2004 to 2007, right up before the Olympics, we weren't that good. And not because we didn't have the talent, we didn't have the right talent together, but we also weren't together enough. It's very difficult what a lot of people don't realize is when you're going to the Olympics, these teams have been playing together since they were 9 and 10 years old. If you're playing a squad from Russia, if you're playing a squad from Serbia, if you're playing a squad from Spain, especially Spain and France, these dudes have been playing together for years. The last Olympics were Argentina. Luis Scola, that was his last Olympics. He was in the 2004 Olympics when Argentina beat the United States. So when you look at the Olympics as a whole, you need to have a team that has some type of camaraderie in order to win these games, because what we've seen is we have out-talented the teams that we beat. We haven't necessarily been the better team. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Jason Tatum.
There was a lot of memes about him. There was definitely a lot of memes about him not playing and shit of that nature.
Yeah, my pure, honest opinion about Jason Tatum is that Jason Tatum is one of the best players in the league. But he was the third best player at his position on this team. This ain't about scoring. This ain't about getting buckets. This is about putting the right players on the floor for you to have the opportunity to win. Am I putting Jason Tatum on the court over LeBron James, the NBA's all-time leading scorer? No. Am I putting Jason Tatum on the court over Kevin Durant, possibly the best player at his position of all time? No.
I know, baby.
No, I'm not.
You can make the argument KD saved us in a lot of those early games.
Yes, he did. He did. Yes, I'm going to take a guy who's had 4 Olympic experiences, 3 or 4 FIBA experiences. So yes, I'm gonna trust him on the court. Yes, I want him on the court. All this Jason Tatum first all NBA. Yeah, that's cool, but that doesn't matter in the Olympics. Look at Embiid.
Why is Embiid on the U.S. team? That's what I didn't understand.
Well, because Joel Embiid has United States citizenship, and that's how it. Same thing with Akeem Olajuwon in '96. Akeem Olajuwon's from Africa, but when you get United States citizenship, you can be here, and that's something I don't like. I don't like that.
Can I be honest,
play
though?
for your home country.
I think a lot of the times, not all the time, because I know Hunter and Mike are going to fucking lose their shit when I say this. I think Embiid was I wouldn't say a cancer, but he was definitely a liability on the court at times. There were times where he was really good, don't get me wrong, but there were more often times than not that I think he was a liability as opposed to
Joel was a liability because he was trying to play NBA basketball on the international stage, and that does not work.
Right.
What people don't realize about Olympic basketball, I don't think I've ever stated this on the show, is that Olympic basketball is faster, it's more spaced out, and it's a lot more physical. You do not get the same calls in the Olympics that you would in the NBA because the NBA is for pure entertainment. So, yes, they do want their superstars scoring 40, 50 points. It's good for revenue. It's good for fan interaction. It's good for the league. That shit don't matter in FIBA. It's pure basketball. Actually, Dennis Schroeder said it the best after the Olympics. In the NBA in America, it's about talent. Talent. Overseas, these guys learn how to play basketball. When they train, they're training on their fundamentals, they're training on their footwork, and they're training on their basic skill work. All the other stuff that they do, that comes along with basketball instinct and your basic talent. That's the reason why a lot of these guys that are in our country now that are like, the top prospects or whatever, most of them don't make it. Most of them aren't successful in the league. Yes, Luka Doncic has an insane skill set, but he's very fundamentally sound. Jokic is very fundamentally sound. Sabonis is very fundamentally sound. These overseas guys come to the NBA as great basketball players, not highly talented basketball players. Jokic is a great talent, but he's an insanely fundamentally skilled basketball player to a point it's very hard to defend him. That's why a lot of these great players, once their talent dwindles off, skill set really ain't there anymore because the athleticism is gone. It's when you base your entire game and precedence off of skill and talent. When that wavers, what else do you have?
nothing.
What else do you have? That's why during the Olympics, we had games where we're down 15, 16 points because they were playing better team basketball and we were playing individual basketball. Quick shots, 3-pointers, trying to take the big shot, trying to go one-on-one because everybody on Team USA is what? They're the man. Everybody's the man. Tyrese Halliburton barely get any playing time. He is a dog. Jason Tatum is a dog. Steph Curry, a dog. Bron, dog. KD, dog.
Steph Curry was our MVP for those last two games, for sure.
We got to talk about
Curry
Steph,
did.
man. We got
What Curry did was just phenomenal.
Steph put on the greatest Olympic performance I've ever seen. I mean, to go from averaging barely 7 points a game to 30?
Man went Super Saiyan.
Soon
Inner
you get the
demon
ball in his
unlocked.
hands from deep, it's over. That shit's going in.
Yo, when he took that last shot, I was like, that's a bucket. That's a bucket. Because when he's in that rhythm, it's no longer skill. It's no longer him being great. It's just reverting back to the habits. It's reverting back to the habits. It's like he said a couple of days ago, he was talking about the shot. He's like, yo, when I get in that, when he was talking about his that's actually watching it, he was doing an interview and he explained about the first time he ever knocked down a no-look three. He's like, I've taken over 750,000 shots. So I know when it's perfect. I just know it. He knows when it's going in. He knows when it's not going in. And that's why when you see guys like that, when they miss, it's like the end of the world for them. It's like, no, dude, I've hit this shot 5,000 times. So if you miss, it's like, but then when it goes in and you let that ball go, it's just the habits. It's the habits. If you've taken 50 to 60,000 step back threes, yeah, you're expecting to make at least 4 out of the 7 you take in the game. You've made that many. You've made that many. What Steph Curry did in the Olympics was insane. It was one of the most iconic moments of all time. The most iconic shots in the history of sport. Not basketball, the history of sport. Like that shot's gonna go down, and we're gonna be talking about that every 4 years. We're gonna be talking about that shot. Until he dies, we're gonna be talking about that shot.
I was watching the highlights because when I was at work, they didn't have the game on. I think the game was on another channel. We just didn't happen to be watching it. I saw I saw the shot, and I was just like, I was hyped, bro. Like you already knew the result, but you just can't help but get hyped watching some of these highlights from the game. I was even from France. Like I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want France to win. Fuck Rudy Gobert. All my homies hate Rudy Gobert, but good God, Wemby was a dog, bro. Wemby was a dog that game.
Wemby is that dude's a problem. He's a problem. I think he's just, to be honest, I think he's gonna have like a Yao Ming type career. I think he's gonna play consistently well. He'll make an all-star team for the rest of his career, as long as he doesn't get hurt or anything. I think he's just gonna be just very consistent over his entire career. I think the issue for him is when they figure him out, because eventually they're going to figure him out. What's the next step? Because he really has everything in his bag. So right now, the thing for him is you got to be more efficient. He's got to start finding his spots on the court. And when he does that, that's going to make him unstoppable. That's what makes the great players great. Because when you get into the league, you're just figuring it out. I don't care how great of a talent you are. Once you figure out who you are as an NBA player, that's when he's really going to start to flourish. So if his shot's going to be that step back three from the top of the key, that's got to be the shot. And that would be the most unstoppable shot of all time. If he really starts getting that Dirk one-legged fadeaway, that's going to be the most unstoppable. Any shot that he puts in his repertoire is going to be the most unstoppable shot ever. No one's going to block him. No one's going to be able to defend him. It's only going to be, is he going to make it or is he going to miss it? That's really going to be his bread and butter. Are you going to make the shot or are you going to miss the shot? Because he's getting back on defense. He can get a stop. He could play outside. He could play inside. It's really when he finds out who he is as an NBA player. Not a basketball player, but as an NBA player. Because the talent's already there.
And if I may, I'd like to jump to a couple other big stories that were going along during the Olympics. Obviously, in my opinion, I think Simone Biles is probably one of the best Olympians we've had since Michael Phelps. I think that goes without saying.
She is the best. She's the best. She's the best. Since him, she's the best. It's either her or Katie Ledecky.
Yep.
It's either her or Katie Ledecky.
Those two.
One of the two.
She's incredible, bro.
Yeah.
There was a lot of gymnastics that was on when I was at work and the game and the Olympics was on.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but just be mesmerized by everything she was doing. And that girl is like, my age.
Well, I didn't know
she was good.
She's 4'8". She's 4'8". I didn't know she was that short. I thought she was like 4'11", 5. No, she's 4'8".
Bro, she's tiny.
She's the size of a toddler.
Yep. You know what though? That just goes to show the amount of greatness she has. She can pull off all those things with her size. And I guess you have to be that size to pull off that kind of athleticism in gymnastics that she does. She's phenomenal, man. I love watching Simone Biles. She is our GOAT since Michael Phelps for sure. No one I think has been better.
Now you want to talk about Olympic stuff?
Yeah.
Rachel Gunn belongs in jail for what she did at the Olympics. Rachel Gunn belongs in jail for what she did at the Olympics. Now I'll break it down for you. Rachel Gunn was the Australian female who was in the breakdancing competition, and she absolutely shit the bed. I have seen toddlers that throw a tantrum pull off moves better than she did. I don't know what the hell she was doing out there for that 3 minutes she was on the floor, but it was horrific. Now I got some more information on it. So this is kind of how it's all broke down. Now, as many people know, this is the first time that breakdancing was in the Olympics, but also it's a very niche sport depending on the country. Australia, it just started, and she was the one who kind of got the Australian breakdancing organization down for the Olympics. She started, I think it was like 2-3 years ago when it became a thing. So how it happened was her and her husband were the leads of the organization. So when they had tryouts for who was going to make the team, there was a bunch of dancers who were far more qualified, younger, actually had the skill and had the talent, but they were all cut from the team because her husband, who was not only the leader of the organization or one of the leaders of the organization, he was also the head judge for the tryouts for the Australian breakdancing team. So because she is his husband, she's his husband or whatever the fuck it is,
I
that's
know
her
what you
husband.
mean.
Yeah, she made the team, and I think what she did was completely disrespectful to breakdancing in general. I don't watch breakdancing like that, but I have seen dance competitions. They are phenomenal to watch. Those people are insanely skilled. But for her to go out there and represent her country and do that, uh, I think it's a form of treason. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's a form of treason, man, because that's the first time. Think about it, it's the first time as a country you do that, and that's how you're represented by someone who shouldn't even have been there in the first place. She and her husband took advantage of their power, put her in that position, and honestly, who knows? And they're talking about it if they're ever going to let Australia into the Olympics for breakdancing again because of that, how that happened, how that went down.
Who won the gold in breakdancing?
I
Because
don't
I am a,
think it was a team thing; it was individual. So a couple people won. I think a couple people won. I don't know how it worked out.
why was the U.S. not in there? Because if all you had to do was go to New York, I think that's where breakdancing originated,
It
to my
did
knowledge.
in the
All you
Bronx.
had to do was go to fucking the Bronx, and you could have
Well,
gotten like 10 people that could have made that team.
what you got to understand also is that in our country, hip hop is more the musical thing. So we're more in the rap, and the Europe is actually the best country for breakdancing. The Philippines actually has the number one breakdancer in the entire world. We do not. And I actually thought we weren't going to win gold. I thought France was probably going to beat us. I don't know how breakdancing went down. It was at the weirdest time of the day, so I don't really know how many people watched it. But I mean, hey, look, at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's a cool thing to have in the Olympics. But it's new. It's new. So there's just going to be some things that it's just going ain't going to look good. Ain't going to look good because there's going to be some issues with flag football in 2028. It's the first time they've ever done this. So you're still figuring things out. And I'll tell you one thing: if the U.S. loses in flag football, just cancel the NFL. Cancel the NFL. Yeah. Now, Matt, we did talk about this. Now, I had mentioned earlier, I wanted to know what everybody's top 3 most iconic moments in sports has been over the past 15 years. So since 2009, 2010, what are your top 3 most iconic moments in the history of professional sports? Hunter, I want you to go. I feel like you're going to have a good 3.
Obviously, the first one for me, I might be biased, but as a Steelers fan, you can't deny it. The Santonio Holmes Super Bowl winning touchdown grab in Super Bowl 43, how he got the tippy toes in the corner of the end zone. I don't know how it happened, but that's what brought home the 6th Lombardi. And then, honestly, I've got to go with, just because I saw this live and I predicted it, 2019 when the Astros beat the Yankees to go to the World Series.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay?
No, it's because I had envisioned it where Jose Altuve was going to hit a bomb, and then that was going to be it. And then he did, and I was just so bamboozled by it. I was like, wow. I can't believe that happened.
I hate you for that one. You scumbag.
And the third one. This is across all sports. So I'm going to be biased as well. I'm going to bring a little NASCAR into
God,
it.
God damn it! God damn it! Fuck! I knew he was going to do it too. I knew he was going to do it.
I didn't even say it yet, but Dale Jr. won the Daytona 500 in 2014. I know he's muted. Dante's, for those that can't see, Dante's muted and he's just cursing up a storm right now. I can see the words he's saying. That's not a good one. But hey, it means something to someone, man.
I am not shocked that your last one was NASCAR related. I am just
Hey,
we were talking about it before you came into the studio. I was like, he's gonna pull a NASCAR one, isn't he?
I never got to see him win one. Although he did win in 2004, I was like 3 years old when that happened. Plus, it was 11:30 at night. The race got moved to the night because of rain. I was jumping up and down like a fucking crack addict. It was insane. I'll never forget that moment, though, because I always wanted to see him win, and he was so close in years prior.
Matt, go.
All right, I'll go. I kind of like ranked these a little bit, to be honest. So my third
that was
one.
the point.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if we were going like ranked off importance or what, but my third one's going to be the Bills versus Chiefs AFC divisional round game from January 23rd, 2022. That game, that might be one of the greatest football games ever played that I have ever watched. And that includes when the Giants won the Super Bowl. There's so many games that you could have picked, but I think that overall, that experience, that back and forth fight that the Bills and the Chiefs were having, that resulted in probably one of the most controversial results in football at the time, only for the Chiefs to then later lose in overtime again the following week against the Bengals, I think. That was like poetic justice in itself. Number 2, Argentina versus France World Cup 2023 final. That is, again, one of the greatest soccer matches I have ever watched. And I could have picked a bunch of soccer moments, but I was like, I gotta think about this from like a grander perspective. Seeing Messi win the World Cup could arguably be the moment that solidifies his GOAT status. And I know if Mike was here, he'd be a big Ronaldo guy, and he is more than inclined to feel that way, trust me. But I think for a lot of other people who didn't see Ronaldo in his prime like me, but is watching Messi, you got to think about it from that perspective. It's like, Messi, one of the greatest ever, never won a World Cup. Now he's got it. Now he has got it.
Well, not to mention the save and penalties by the goalie as well.
The penalty, and the fact that it resulted in penalties that finished the match was incredible, to say the least. And last but certainly not least, Patriots 23-3 comeback in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. I think that kind of goes without saying.
You know what's popping.
I hate that I actually put that down there as number 1, but you can't tell me that is not up there.
Baby. Can't deny it. They said Brady couldn't do it. They said he was done. They said he was washed. They said he'd never be back.
They said he was cooked. Well done.
Got a Super Bowl MVP and one league MVP the next year. Suck it. All right. My top 3. Now, my third one, I had a tie because I thought they were like 2 iconic moments, but one is an iconic series and one is an iconic game / moment. So I have these both tied at 3. I have both tied at 3. The first one is the Super Bowl, 2016 Super Bowl, when Julian Edelman had the most insane catch in the third quarter to keep the drive alive. That one-handed catch and the iconic part of it is the red gloves, bro. Something about Julian Edelman, those red gloves were so iconic, and so many great moments came out of that. But that catch was it was crazy. Like, to this day, I've never seen a more iconic and important catch in such a big game. So I got to give it up to Jules. And then tied with that is the 2016 NBA Finals. One of the greatest finals I've ever witnessed.
Oh, don't tell me it's a 3 coming back 3-1.
Fuck,
I hate that.
I wanted Golden State to win because I wanted them to finish off the historic season. It didn't happen. But that season alone, the whole 2016 season alone, I actually put that in. That was such an iconic year. That was a very iconic year, everything that was going on. Now, number 2. Number 2 is the 2019 Masters. Tiger Woods winning that Masters after all those years of, being at the bottom, all of the the trials and tribulations he went through with his family, the scandals, him going through things with his dad, and the injuries and the alcoholism. He was going through a lot, and for him to have that moment, but it really wasn't him winning that I thought was iconic. It was that moment when he and his son embraced each other after the match. It was almost identical to him winning his first Masters when he ran into his own father's arms, and he was able to share that moment with him. I thought that was so iconic, and it was great. Now, number one, I think y'all know where I'm going with this one. I'm biased. 2016, last game of his career. Kobe dropped 60. That was the most iconic Kobe Bryant thing to ever happen in the history of basketball. I mean, to go out like that, to me, I was like, that's why he's my GOAT. That's why he's that guy. Because anybody else in their farewell game would have been like, I'll knock down my bucket, say goodbye to the crowd, and I'll sit out. No, it was the end of the year. And the other thing people don't realize was that Utah was going for the 8th spot in the playoffs. They needed to win that game. And if you don't think Kobe knew that walking in, you're fucking crazy. Because the narrative and the storyline that built into that game was crazy. Because you got to think about it. 1997, Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals, Kobe had his infamous airball game. Airball after airball after airball against the Utah Jazz. And every single time since then, Kobe Bryant has always had a vendetta against Utah because he thinks about that in the back of his mind. He's like, I remember when I had that real bad game, so I always got to show up. And that ended up being
the type of competitor that Kobe is.
Yep. And that ended up being the last team that Kobe needed to drop 50 on for him to have at least a 40 or 50 point game against every single team in NBA history. That's impressive. That's impressive. But that game, that moment, and just everything that went into the shoes, the commercials, the hype going into it. Because I think a lot of people thought, Kobe was just going to finish out. He didn't have a great season, but it was Kobe, so we had to show him love. You go up there and drop 60. I don't give a fuck if you took 50 shots. I don't even care about that. 60 points at 36, 37. I love that dude, man. I love that dude.
I love poetic justice in sports. Like you bring up that whole narrative from the airball game in 97, you said?
97, yeah.
You bring up that airball game, and then his last game of his career is against the Jazz. The Jazz need to get in to the playoffs by winning that game. That I love it.
And I think to
storylines in sports are it's just too perfect. It's too perfect.
It's so poetic. And I think all the moments that I named, they were all like very poetic moments. I mean, you talk about narratives. Think about how different the narrative on LeBron James would be if they did not win that championship, right? Think about how different the narrative would be about Tom Brady if Julian Edelman didn't make that catch. I don't think the narrative...
Or if they didn't win that Super Bowl game against the Falcons.
Right. And on top of that, if Kobe didn't drop that 60 points, it wasn't going to change or affect his legacy. But the fact he did just solidified the legend of Kobe being Bryant. Solidified it. Like, if anybody wants to know how good was Kobe, like was he really that good? Go look at that last game.
I forever kick myself because, what was that? You said 2016?
Yep.
I forever kick myself because I never appreciated Kobe's greatness until after he retired.
Most people didn't. And that's why I think his death was so iconic at the same way. Like, it sounds fucked up because of how he went out, but I feel like that's like the only way. He went out in a crazy way, in a sad way, but there's something about that just goes to show in the chokehold that he had on the game of basketball. People that didn't hated him, like people hated Kobe. They had to show him love. They're like, damn, he went out like that. Kobe really was a great player. Kobe really was a good dude. He really did give a fuck about the game. Maybe I was looking at it from a completely different perspective. And then that's all you have when people die. You have perspective.
It's different. And you know what it is? And this is what I kind of feel about LeBron James now, even though LeBron James isn't dead or anything. But it's just like, I could respect LeBron for what he's done for the game. I don't like him, but that's also because when he plays against my team in the Knicks, we're just like, fuck LeBron. We got to beat LeBron to show that we're on the come up now and that he's on the down. So
I don't
it's
think
just
he's hate players. I think it's fair to like and hate players in sports because we're fanatics and we love our team. We only care about them, blah, blah, blah. But you have to have an appreciation for the great ones. You just have to, because they've given us so much to remember and so much to look at over the course of their careers. As much as I'm not a LeBron fan, I am so appreciative of what he's done for the game. It has been an honor. It's been an honor to watch him over these past 18 years that I've really been into sports like that. Like, it's been an honor. It's been an honor. And when he leaves, the league is going to feel it. The league is going to feel it. Like, when Kobe was gone, at least we still had KD and Bron and Steph. But when Bron leaves, like, that's a whole that's an entire era of basketball gone.
Well, if you think about it like this, though, because like I was thinking about this and someone tweeted it too, I saw after the gold medal game, when all of those guys that were on that team have the potential to retire within the next 4 years. We will never see them not only on a USA basketball, but in the league ever again.
Like, in the next 6 years, Steph might be gone. Bron will definitely be gone.
Oh, he's definitely gone.
KD most likely will be gone. I think KD's going to play in the next Olympics. I think he is.
I don't know about that.
I think he is. I mean, he's not slowing down. And I said this about KD over his whole career. Every time that dude gets hurt, he comes back better. I don't know how he does it. I have no idea how he does it. But every time he gets hurt, we get a new KD. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what kind of foreign medicine he putting in his body. I don't know what kind of Aaron Rodgers retreats he be going on, but
I was just thinking that too.
KD comes back and it's like, I thought you broke your foot. I thought you fucked up your knee. Like, how are you playing at this level? It's insane. But I definitely think he's gonna have that Bron position on the next Olympic team, because you're going to need the experience. And this next Olympic team for us is going to be weird because it's actually the same way on both sides, men's and women's. There's a lot of guards coming up in the game, and you cannot have all these guards on the same team. So both organizations are going to have to figure out, all right, who's the best 4 to 5 guards we're going to put on this team? Because especially on the women's side, the people that are leaving, right? The next Olympics, Diana Taurasi ain't going to be there. But the next Olympics, you're going to have Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins,
Angel
Kelsey
Reese.
Plum. You're going to have Angel Reese. You're going to have Aja Wilson. You're probably going to have Cameron Brink. You're going to have a lot of talent, and you're going to have to figure out who to put on this team. The next Olympics, Zion, Ja, Devin, maybe Jalen Brunson.
I don't know. I don't know if Zion's fat ass is making the team. I ain't gonna.
Zion, you're fucking insane. Zion is still one of the best players in the NBA. It's just that he's always fucking hurt. But that dude is literally one of the greatest basketball players that's ever stepped foot on a basketball court.
We'll have this conversation in 4 years.
That's
right
right.
now, if I'll be honest, I don't see it right now. I just don't.
Man, you just hating.
I'm not hating. I'm just going off what I see.
You just hating on dark skinned Barkley. It's okay. All right. That's dark skinned Barkley. I'm putting it out there right now. Zion Williams' new nickname, dark skinned Barkley. You know what? We gonna call him Zion Darkley. Yep, Zion Darkley. That's his new nickname, Zion Darkley. Mm-hmm. Zion Darkley.
God damn it!
I mean, he is a hybrid Charles Barkley. That's what Zion Williams is. He's a hybrid Charles Barkley. Luka Doncic, hybrid Larry Bird. Magic Johnson. LeBron James, the hybrid version of Magic Johnson. People want to hate. Say people in the 90s and the 80s were trash. Nah, y'all just don't see the influence.
We're done with the 90s, man.
That's all right. If you're done with the 90s, kiss my ass. Without the 90s, you don't have this basketball. Straight up. Without the 90s, we ain't got no Michael Jordan. And where would the league be without Michael Jordan? Oh, my God. You think LeBron is doing all this shit? He's getting all this stuff without MJ? Nope.
There wouldn't be another Space Jam movie without MJ.
Oh, we could have done without that.
Left that
Yeah, we could have done without that second one. But
I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't even finish the second Space Jam. Once I saw they had the whole Warner Brothers universe in that, I was like, nope. Why would I want to see a basketball movie and Harry Potter's in it? Get the
what?
They had the whole. They like when you remember in the first movie when Jordan got taken through the Warner Brothers logo and he just went straight into Looney World, where the fuck it was. Like,
it's been a while since I've seen it.
They took Bron through the whole universe. Like, it
was he recruiting?
It was like Animaniacs and the Simpsons and all. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is
Not
this?
my Space Jam.
Not my Space Jam.
Not my Space Jam.
My Space Jam had Lola Bunny with ass and tits.
Now hold on a second. That's wild.
Hey, we ain't gonna say act like Lola Bunny wasn't caked up in '96, my G.
I never said that, but come on now.
Listen. Top 3: Lola Bunny, Mrs. Incredible, and Dexter's mom. Dexter's mom was caked up. Woo! Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So you would have thought a bakery was walking through the front door. My. Woo! Duncan Hines, baby. Put icing on it. Wouldn't be any more cakier than that. Jesus. Ooh, let me stop.
Oh, calm down. Yeah. Hey, man. I think that's killing me. Hey, man, I think that's a good way to wrap up the episode. Hey, guys, we appreciate you being here for episode 87. We're going to be taking a couple of weeks off. I think we're going to be doing the show every other week, too, nowadays, anyway. Just because I think it's better that we have more stuff to talk about as opposed to doing it every single week and nothing's really going on. Everybody's busy. I think every other week it seems like that's going to be the way going forward, if you ask me. I think everybody else has agreed about it. We've all talked about it behind the scenes.
Yeah, man. We'll be back. Just make sure y'all know the 100th episode is coming soon. Hopefully it'll be before the new year. We have no idea. We'll see what happens. Life be lifing, baby.
Yeah.
Life be lifing. And I mean, I'll probably have to take time off the show once the basketball season starts, but I will definitely be there for the 99th and the 100th episode. There's no doubt about that.
What we do on the 100th episode, I have no fucking idea yet. We all have to talk about it.
Hope Angela White comes on that episode. I hope she.
I don't know if I have that leverage anymore.
Oh my God.
I don't work for another show anymore. Thank God. I don't know if I have that leverage.
Rhodes, Lisa Ann, Pinky, Cherokee Diaz, Donna Red, Maya G, Brandy Love, Eva Lovia. It doesn't matter. Whoever wants to come on the show, you're always welcome. If you want to come on the show naked, that's fine too. We're not going to tell you no. It's a free country.
We just won't put that on YouTube.
# Me Too movement. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. I'm on your side. Female empowerment. Woo! Let's get it. All right.
Hey, man.
That's enough for me.
Hey, really quick, if you guys want to follow us on social media, we would appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter at Bromigos Pod, Instagram and Facebook, The Bromigos Pod, TikTok. We love pissing y'all off on there if you've seen our videos. The Bromigos Podcast. And YouTube, the audio still drops there every time we release an episode. So we'd appreciate if you subscribe to us on YouTube. And we appreciate everyone who has. And a big thank you to my friend over at Full Swap Radio. Cole, thank you so much for supporting us every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Past episodes or current episodes of the show will air. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Yes, sir.
I'll be in fucking Trump country next time.
Oh no.
Help me.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Bromigos podcast.
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Avita! That's okay! She'll be back. Another